Well, hello, fellow travelers. Spring has sprung, and I thought, you know what? It's been a long time since we did ourselves a proper Quest wild card read. And it just seemed fitting that we should see what's in store for us with the spring season campaign. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to open up with ARCANE BS to set the tone for what's about to unfold here for all of us as we step onto the road that will be the one we forge to the Stone of Destiny. Now, in recent reads, we've certainly had every indication that you've already attained Fragorok, the Sword of Truth, also known as the Answerer, because once you act upon it, pull it from its sheath and point it at its objective, you get the answers you need that set the next stage of the phase in motion, which comes in with the Sphere of Blue. And there's been indication that you have recently taken some kind of action, and it was based on the answers you got, that did change the whole scope of what you thought was possible, or it created an inevitable turning of the road that now is leading you in quite a different direction or with quite a different objective in mind. And there's even indication that there's been the attainment of the Cauldron of Dagda. And if you don't have it yet, that it's about to come into view, likely will come to its place of culmination with the Libra full moon that will be coming in on April Fools. Every indication that that's when we take some leap, we step into the next phase of the journey with some weird ass mystical shies. And there is something from the past that you're taking forward with you here. I do feel there's a more playful spirit. You're grateful for the lessons, you're grateful for the tempering, you're grateful for the trials you've faced as you've been forged in that fire of the Master Maker, but I think you are ready to get sort of to a more enthusiastic phase of this campaign. You've had enough time grappling with the holy grail, the grit, grime, and the oil, and you're ready to just jump into waters that are more welcoming, ready to enter flow. But you know, anytime requesting, there will be challenges up ahead, but I think we're off to a pretty auspicious start here. Just by current indications, what's been coming in on the downloads recently. But let's get a lay of the land. Let's find out what's ahead of us here. And we're going to open up first by seeing what is the nature of the current quest that we are moving through. We're looking at this particular lunar cycle that leads up to that April Fool's Libra full moon major balancing point in the storyline. So let's just see what is the overarching theme of this quest. Let's see what we are moving through here. Bottom of the deck. Oh, we are facing off with the Frodis. So this is quite an objective we have to face here. We may need some protection, maybe some protective magic against the Frodis as well. This is a force that if we allow it to have its way, it will mire us in that holy grail, the grit, grime, and the oil. It will run over us with that machine. So we do need to be aware. We got to keep one eye open here. We're not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet. Okay, give us more details about this quest. There's some force that we do need to overthrow here as we open up to the adventure ahead. All right, we've got quite some details here. Okay, I like this. I like this. This is good. This energy is really good. All right, so we know that we are making some very decisive choices here. I'm going with what's in the middle right here. This does have big Libra energy to me. So I feel like we're in this phase right now where we're starting to turn on our consciousness again. And we're crowned by a certain knowledge that came from acting upon the treasure of Fragorok. We are going to get answers in this cycle that will help us get through some complication. Now, we may have thought we had the answers in the past. We may have cut something off in our haste, but I do feel like we're getting a little bit of this do-over energy coming in here. We're getting a little do-over energy because there's some self-knowledge that's been activated here. We do have some answers now that we didn't have before. And perhaps that's how we needed to find those answers. We had to cut something off so it could make things crystal clear. There may have been sort of a confusing element or a confusing how is it coming through? A cloak of confusion that maybe was attached to somebody that was concealing their energy in some way. And so the only way to get beyond what was sort of veiling the reality of what we were contending with, we had to cut something off. And it may have seemed like it was really hasty here, but it's sort of like, I'm almost seeing it as the knot is still here, okay? So nothing's lost. The knot is still here. It's just needing to cut yourself free from a little of this space that was mired in trying to figure it out at a time when you didn't have all the details. That's what I feel this is, 6:33 on the clock. There is some kind of helpful communication coming in here that's going to help you understand what needs to be done to actually unravel the knot. There's something about unraveling the knot that actually activates its core power. You can't just cut it off. If you cut it off, yeah, you may free yourself temporarily from an entanglement, but you're not going to actually unleash the power that's contained within the knot. And that is the objective here. That's what gives this new beginning. That's what gives this cosmic egg of creation. There is a need to be able to give this knot the slip by unraveling it. And there's information coming in here, if you pay attention, that will teach you how you need to go about this. Now, I do feel it requires tempering, but there's strong indication that you're going to be the first to achieve a certain objective. You're going to be the first to get a go at this knot, you could say. And it does free you from the thorns. You do get free of the briar patch. And once you're free of the briar patch, you move beyond the hedge and you enter into the wild and free open spaces. It will require you to adapt a new kind of flow as you enter that waterway, but there is quite strong indications that you will get your rose. You will get the sweetness of the bloom. So that's off to quite a strong start. I do appreciate that energy here. There's just something to be aware of. It is an influence that is still lingering, and it's somebody who's directing you, directing your steps. This could be somebody that you're consulting. It could be somebody that you feel is an ally. But are they an ally, or are they here to lead you through the tricky territory so you can kind of forge the road for them, and then last minute they're going to bum rush you and they're going to give you the slip? This could be a crafty character, you know. This could be a Templeton kind of character who wants the smorgasbord for themselves, you know. They view life as just a carnival of delights, and they may be telling you they will share those spoils, but they might be more bent on achieving all of those rewards for themselves, but kind of sending you out to do the dirty work, you know. It's sort of like using you as a shield, I could see. That's a little tricky. Okay, so you do need to be aware of this influence. You might need to suss this out. That might be a little bit of this complication that you need to sort through. Once you figure out the connecting points and you really understand what is keeping the energy bound up, you'll have what you need. You'll have the knowledge you need to unravel the knot. You unravel the knot, it unleashes the latent energy. And remember, it's sort of like traveling an inner labyrinth here. You're unraveling the knot within you. It's an awakening that stirs from inside of you, and it unleashes your energy. It activates your self-knowledge. And then you finally know how to give the knot the slip. You're no longer caught up here. And at that moment, you find that you hold the cosmic egg of creation in your hand. And I do feel like you will achieve this alchemical turning point here. And you will enter the waterway. And likely will be the first on the scene. But you have to remember there's other people that also desire what you do. And so it's important that you move with clarity and you move in a different way than perhaps you're accustomed to, because there could be those who anticipate your moves, especially if they've been studying you long enough. 11:07 coming in on the clock there. Okay. What is the nemesis that we need to be aware of as we enter this spring season quest, as we enter this campaign? What is the nemesis we need to face off with? I mean, we know we have a pretty formidable nemesis in the Frodis, but I want to know more of the details. You know what I mean? It's like the Frodis, that can capture your attention. It's a big, bold, in-your-face energy, but often it's the more unsuspecting elements that really can trip you up. So let's see what the nemesis is that we need to be aware of here as we head out on this road. Ooh. May's face in reverse. That's a pretty potent message. The nemesis is within, it's not without. Don't look out there for the nemesis. You're facing off with a part of you that you're not conscious of yet. And you got to dive deep into the center of you to uproot this. So again, there's like every indication here that there's something that is still tethering you to this South Node energy that you need to give the slip so you can activate this cosmic egg of creation. That's a pretty potent message, May's face. So the nemesis is within, not without. And that came in at 12:44 on the clock. So you see, you already hold the charge of the Empress. You already hold this latent creative potential. And it's ready to be activated. It is. You have everything you need to carry out this great work. But there's something here that is bound up in the past. And it's deep within your roots. You have to know your roots here to unravel that knot, okay? Know the roots. Know the roots. It's really important. Know the origin of the current storyline you're moving through too. There could be clues. There could be clues there. All I know is you got to spiral in to gain this power because you haven't retrieved this power yet. I mean, there is indication that you will achieve that Spear of Lu as well as the Cauldron of Dagda. But I sort of feel like it's crunch time in the storyline where you're having to make up for lost time. Lost time, you know, where you've been looking in the wrong places for what you viewed as the source of limitation and where it was stemming from. So you got to get a couple treasures under your belt before that road to the Stone of Destiny opens up with that Libra full moon on the 1st, okay? So there's a finite amount of time we're working with here. And yet, you know, that's the thing. If you can achieve the objective here, then you can become a master of time. Truly, time can be a very malleable thing. I mean, we've seen that. Time seems to be speeding up, right? Well, just like it speeds up, there is a way you can suspend time. There's a way you can slow it down too. There's a way you can travel as well. And if you need to make for lost time, you can also work with the energy of light. If you work with your light body, you generate enough power there, you can travel at the speed of light. So that can turn everything around. So there's something here, though, where you really got to find this within you. So you're facing off with the nemesis within, which is pretty spicy. And that makes sense, because if you don't seek that out, if you don't understand this part of you, how are you going to overthrow the Frodis? You won't be able to. The Frodis knows that part of you. It will turn that part of you against yourself. It's sort of like your spirit doppelganger. That's kind of how it's coming through. Okay, what is our spirit ally here? This is getting a little intriguing. It's coming out crossing. See, once we achieve the objective there, we can take what is worthwhile from the past, which is understanding what was working against us. And we can bring that knowledge forward with us. It gives us a lot more flow. And where we may have sort of cast out this part of ourselves, or we didn't want to look at that back there, instead we can feel grateful for it. And we can go, okay, so long, and thanks for the fish, and we finally have our guide to the galaxy. We know how to make our way through the wormhole to get where we need to go. And it does look like it's something that will come in with that Libra full moon, but we're not there yet. That's coming in as the crossing energy. We haven't arrived at that juncture yet. Okay, well, what is the grudge here? What's the conflict? What's the beef, the meat of the matter that we're contending with? I know I haven't really done this before, working with the ARCANE BS deck, but I felt really pulled to do it this way. Okay. Well, the grudge is that, we tried to get our hands on the sweet reward, and we found ourselves overrun by the swarm. There's something also that put us in a bit of a tight spot that was a revealing moment. And where we thought maybe we had something on lock, we kind of got caught slipping a little bit, or there was an element that we hadn't considered. And so while we may have achieved our objective to a certain extent, there's something that still remains to be done. I mean, I do feel like there was sort of like a moment of exposure here. But what I do want you to be mindful of is you still got your hands on some sweetness here, you see? You didn't drop the ball. You didn't drop the ball, but you may have revealed something to those who are keeping an eye on you here that might put you in a little bit of a precarious position. But your ally is that you do still hold this sweetness. It's still in your hands. You didn't fumble it. You didn't fumble it, but it did put you in kind of a little bit of an exposing position. I mean, that does work in your favor, but I want more details about that. How is that an ally? How is that an ally to us? Give us more information about this. It also could be, that's an okay, I'm seeing that a little differently. There could be somebody else that the swarm, yes, there's somebody else right now that the swarm is distracted by. Somebody that maybe is sort of like, it's kind of coming in like a fall guy that's temporarily, somebody was trying to get their hands on perhaps your sweetness, something that you still hold. And in some way they got exposed. It was an exposing moment, but I feel like this swarm is more focused on this individual right now. That works to your advantage. So though this person may have been working against you, their exposure works in your favor. It's like an ally to you because it allows you to give this energy the slip. I feel you still have your hands on this sweetness. You haven't dropped the ball yet. You see? So this individual is a little caught up here because I think that whatever they're attached to, it's somebody that's guiding them. somebody who says they're working with them, they know that they got pretty close. They got pretty close to swiping this out of your hands, whatever this sweetness is that you have access to. They got pretty close to tripping you up. And so I think that's why there's a lot of buzz and attention around this individual right now. They might even be making an example out of this person because they're hoping they can... It's interesting the way it's coming through. It's sort of dicey. It's like they want to shame this person enough where they get this person to want to redeem themselves by teaming up with them and helping them acquire what you're holding on to here. They got closer than anyone else did. That's what I see. I mean, this works in your favor though, don't you see? Because while they're caught up with this, you're already on your way. Like there's something you already have access to here. Yeah, you already have knowledge of this. You know what they're up to. You know about their connections too. You know who's who's bedfellows. You know who is aligned with each other. You have the ability to see through what they tried to cloak from you. You also have the ability to ward this off. I do feel like you have strong defensive magic here. Strong defensive magic here. And you hold a lot of creative power at this time. Also, Owl. Owl is your spirit ally. Owl spirit is working on your behalf. Great horned owl, warrior energy, all right? So you do have some magic at your disposal here. You do have the ability to see in the dark. You do have the ability to access certain mysteries, and you have the ability to spot a deceiver. And that does work out to your advantage, because though they may think that they're getting closer to swiping something from you, you actually see them as more marked. You can call it out before they can gain a stronghold. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Very interesting. And that's interesting how it looped back around, because I was looking at what the meat of the matter was, and it led us back into this territory of the spirit ally and the lay of the land. So there's something here, and it is a retro cycle. So I feel like there is something here that we can't forget. It's like there's one more piece here. That's what it's about, man. There's one more piece here, and it really is about that knot. There is one more piece here that needs to be sorted out. It's like, yeah, you still have a strong hold on the sweetness. You didn't drop the ball, but this knot is still there, and that's what needs to be resolved, because that's the key at this time. It is the key to everything, and the answer to that is within you. It's not by getting sort of like pulled in with this sort of outside distractionary energy. That's really wild how that came in though. It really looped, you see? It's got like a circuitous kind of nature to it, where you think you're moving forward and then it like loops you back around again, because that's the nature of the knot. It's also the nature of a labyrinth. All right, so this is a part of you that just as you think you're free, it loops you back around again. This is important. The beef is that you're holding on to something that others want here. They want to get their hands on that. They want to get their hands on that. And they do feel like they've exposed a vulnerable side of you. And yet there is this power you hold. That, I think that's why your spirit ally wanted to come through again in the form of the great horned owl, to let you know, don't forget the magic you hold. Don't forget that you come from a warrior bloodline. Don't forget your allies. Don't forget to ask for their assistance. Mm-hmm. There might be something about journeying. I'm almost picking up like drumming you do to enter into trance state. You might need to journey to actually have a little communion time with a spirit ally. There's something you need to retrieve here that can help you unravel this. I feel like that's really important. Okay. Because the swarm isn't going to give up. And the swarm works on behalf of the Frodis. It's like an extension of that energy. It sort of gets activated in the characters in your storyline. You know, when people are too plugged into the lower nature, they do kind of tend to get overridden by the program. And so then they kind of turn into a swarm where they're acting on behalf of the greater agenda of the Frodis, even though they may think that they're in some kind of control. It's kind of an interesting energy, the way it's coming through, the way the macrocosmic energy has such a strong influence over us and our personal storylines as we're heading down this road on this campaign. All right, this is very interesting. I mean, it's sort of like I'm jumping ahead from what I've already seen here. I think one of the consequences we're going to have to deal with as a result of past actions is we did get frag rock, we got a truth, and because we saw a truth, we cut something off quick, which may have served its purpose at that time because we needed to sort of separate ourselves from a source of complication. But there is something we need to dive into internally that might connect to what we cut off there, that needs to be revisited, perhaps through some kind of journeying or through working with our spirit ally in order to address cutting something off that we now need to unravel. Does that make sense? It's like you need to get certain clues to know. It almost has the vibe of undoing a working. Even if you're not the one who did the working, even if somebody else tried to lay something on you, there is a way you can unravel what was put on you. It's got a little bit of sort of like Heyoka vibes too, where you kind of have to do something backwards. That's the only way to resolve something here. Let me get more details about this. What are the consequences we have to deal with as a result of our past actions here? What are the consequences? See? Look at this. That's what it is. That's what it is. See, somebody burned a bridge that they have to cross. They burned a bridge that they have to cross. There's something you need back there. There's another that you need back there. And so it kind of means there's an energy you have to face off with, but you have to dive deep within to face off with this like nemesis energy here. It could be something that was like attached to you. This character here maybe is acting as some kind of guardian over this key you need. It's a key you need that unravels the knot here. And there may be somebody here that plays a pivotal role in this. And I can almost see this like two forces aligning here. It's like you're two pieces to the puzzle. Your energies have to combine in order to override this. So you still hold on to something here, right? But the full potential of what you hold can't be activated because the other needs to come along for the ride. And so there's something that needs to be discovered within here. It feels like there's something that's been warding this key. And it feels like it's an energy that maybe You might be familiar with this energy. It might be an energy that you've faced off with before. This could be a spirit you've faced off with in dream time, or it could be something that is connected to a deep memory that almost acts as an apparition. You know, sometimes experiences you've been through, pain you've been through, if it's been fed long enough, it can almost become like a spirit of that thing. That's what I feel like this is. It's like facing off with a dark force, but it's more kind of embedded in your cellular memory here. Once this is resolved, it's like all of the fear that's been attached. It looks like it's been attached to two. So this might even be like some kind of entity that has warded over a connection, preventing two from joining their forces. Perhaps this entity also serves Aphrodite. Okay, that's really interesting. So you have to face off with this, whatever this is. It's something that you have feared. Something you have feared. But it's hoarding what you need. It's hoarding what you need in order to get yourself free. It's like, finish him. It's like you have to face off with this opponent here. But the opponent is not without. It's within. Like, I can see this is something that you have to resolve through journeying, or you have to resolve it through dream time. This is not something that's resolved in the typical way. It's not about like going tit for tat with somebody that's been giving you a rough time, you know, out here on the material plane. This is more something that's going down on the spiritual plane. This is something that's going down astrally. And some of you may be, I mean, straight up facing off with an entity, and it's not your first time at that rodeo. You've dealt with energy like this before. And it's sort of like the last stand, but I feel like once you resolve that, all the truths you need, you hold all of them. And it really secures your position. It secures your position for that stone of destiny. But it is related to the past. It is related to the past. And it could be connected to the energy of Aries and Chiron. So it has something to do with a real deep wounding, something you've carried with you. You may have carried it with you for lifetimes. This is something that's been on you for lifetimes, you know? It's deep. This is like Akashic Records deep. And it's sort of like, it's coming through in a very interesting way. You may have been facing off with these difficult characters as you've made your way down your road, and you've identified these characters as the opposition, and yet these characters are sort of just outer manifestations of this entity that's been tracking you for lifetimes. It's connected to two here, though. It's not just you. It's connected to another that you need to join forces with. And maybe you had to cut something off here. You needed to so you could get your head clear. But it's connected to something or somebody that you cut off, a bridge you burned. And the only way to set it free, now that you burn that bridge or you cut off a particular connection that maybe is attached to this other that you need to join forces with, is to face off with it internally, through journeying work, through soul retrieval work, through work on the astral plane, through facing off with the entity, the spirit of the thing. That's how it's sort of translating here. And it's inevitable. Like, there's no way to avoid this. To avoid it is to stay in the knot. It's sort of like, I'm almost seeing this as it's like, it's this karmic loop. Look how convoluted. It's become. It's just like, no matter how many different portals you go through, it's still there. And even though you have cut it off, right, it's still here. It's still here. It's still with you. It hasn't gone anywhere. You may feel a little bit of separation from it to the extent where you feel like, you know, you have clearer thinking here, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. It's still beside you. And that has an impact because it continues to act as a beacon to this energy. That's why you got to face off with this character here. Okay, interesting. All right, well, if this is done, what is the power to be gained? What is the power to be gained? So you could almost view this entity, this figure here. It really does feel like it's a spiritual matter. You can view that as the master maker. It's a force that's opposing you, that you have to face off with and overthrow. And what's interesting about that to me is that I feel like that is the master maker. So what is the power to be gained through being forged in the fire of the master maker? What is the power to be gained through facing off with this energy? What is the power to be gained through facing off with this energy? Ooh. Wow. Well, this is interesting. You gain access to all the secrets and you can adopt any form at any time. And that allows you to move cloaked where others are not able to track you because they can't detect your energy signature. You'll be able to move through hostile territory undetected. There's like all of these secrets that awaken in you, all this secret knowledge. And it allows you to become unrecognizable to those who would halt your progress. You're able to move through hostile territory undetected. That's what I got. That's quite a power. All right. Well, what's at stake? What's at stake for your party? What do you need to be mindful of for those who are allies to you that are joining you on the road to the stone of destiny? What's at stake is your security and the creation of the world. You see, this is supposed to be inverted. Remember, there's something here that you're going about it in a way that you have to do it backwards. It's not the way you think it is. You have to do it backwards. This is supposed to be upside down. You're looking in the wrong place. It's like you're trying to be the first to get the worm here, right? You're trying to be the first there to get the worm, but you're looking in the wrong place for it. You need to dive deep into the archives of the past. You need to dive deep in order to face off with this energy, to retrieve what you need, because it's not found. It's not found out there. It's not. It's found within. This is a spiritual matter. This can only be resolved spiritually. And there's two of you here too. So I feel like this is a little tricky because even after you get yourself free of this and you address this, you still have another here that has to achieve the same objective. I feel like this is a shared entity that wards over a connection. I feel that. I feel that very strongly. So it takes both of you getting the memo. Both of you getting the memo. But there's agents of the Frotus that come through as the swarm and that come through as advisors. And these are energies that are trying to guide you in such a way where they don't have the answers. Their whole ploy is to lead you off the trail, you know, to have you running into the briar patch, you know, where you're going to get all caught up in the thorns. And we know your objective is to balance something out. And I'm really seeing this too. It almost has the vibe of, you know, once you make it through, you really need the other to find the way through too, because you can only make your way to the sweetness of the bloom when your energies combine. This is somebody that, this is a spiritual mission that's been charged to you lifetime after lifetime, the two of you. You've been down this road many times before. How do you know this person? This may be somebody that when you met this person, it was like instant soul recognition. You were like, it's you. Like you recognize this person, even though you had never met them before. So that could give you a clue. And if you don't feel like you have that kind of connection with somebody, this is somebody that's going to come your way where you're going to know it instantaneously. You're the one. You're the one who holds the other piece to this puzzle. And I don't know, there's something interesting about it. I feel like you're both kind of beginning to become aware of this. Like there's something that's surfacing here on the more subtle level, but you got to tune into it to be able to pick it up. And it was 41:14 on the clock. You see, it's like mirroring the energy here. Double fives, Wheel of Fortune. Yes, both of you have to get it in order for the Wheel of Fortune to turn. If one of you gets free, that's great. You know, it can help you out, but it makes it impossible to complete a certain task here. And this could be somebody who's coming your way. In some cases, it could be a guide. Now that's an interesting take too. This is just kind of coming through. This may be something that you feared because maybe you didn't have this understanding when you would encounter this entity before, this apparition, whatever this is that maybe you faced off with in your dreams. And yet maybe it's just its outer presentation raised your hackles and it's actually an ally. It's actually an ally. Ooh. It's actually an ally. And maybe because you feared it, it's sort of been projected onto another here that's kept you divided from this one. It's almost like, it's interesting. Because it's been following you both. It came through as kind of like warding, but at the same time, something that's been kind of connected to two. But it might be something that provokes fear because of the power that it evokes. And there's something about, it can only be discovered within, but maybe when it's discovered within, it's like finally all like the veils of illusion, you see, are shed. And the two see each other like brand new, as if they're seeing each other for the very first time. And then finally, all of these incarnations where it was so close to forging the alliance can finally recede into the archives of the past and the connection can materialize. This is somebody that's an ally here. You're both, I don't care if it's a man, it don't matter, you know, man, woman, it makes no difference. You're both like pregnant with this knowledge. You're both pregnant with this knowledge. It's like you hold it inside of you. It's something that you really feel on the gut level. You'll know what this is when it comes your way. You'll know what this is when it comes your way. I don't know why. It makes me think of that Devo song, Gut Feeling. There might be a clue in that song that could tip off who this character could be. Really interesting. But all I know is this is something that's achieved in dream time. It's like it can't even come into fruition in material reality until it's confronted on that level. That's what I feel. Really interesting, but it feels like it's really close to happening. It's close to happening. Okay. And this meeting is important, not just for you and the other, but for the whole party. That's what's at stake. Because if this doesn't happen, the whole party suffers. All right. What's at stake for the new world? What's at stake for the new world that we're trying to weave into being here? Well, I mean, if this doesn't go down, then we're effed, man. We're effed. The Frodis is going to gain the stronghold. That's what's at stake. This transformation has to happen. It has to happen, or else we're going to continue to be in this in-between place, neither here nor there. And the injury will be great. The injury will be great, you see? It really blocks off the creative pathway here. So fending things off, you know? Fending things off instead of moving forward. Moving one step forward, one step back. Like, I think this is what, you know, you've been contending with, feeling like you get so far, but then something tethers you back. It's that knot. Interesting. Okay. Well, if we unravel this, if we figure it out, I kind of want to figure out, because, you know, this is what's tricky here is it's like, well, you can only do your part. You can't force another, especially if it's somebody you haven't met in physical form yet. That's possible, okay? Maybe you haven't met this person yet. Maybe this meeting will come. I mean, we do see here, there's been timelines where this has missed the boat. There is a juncture coming up here, though, where the timelines merge and this meeting can be possible. But only if two get it right. So I'm kind of curious here, because what if just one of you does? I'm going to ask on both levels here, okay? So what is the cookie? What is the sweet reward? If you achieve this objective, you face off with this energy and you discover what's there, because I'm not sure what you're going to discover. All I know is it gives you access to all the secrets, and it allows you to move through hostile territory undetected, which is a great power to have. It's a great advantage to have. But I don't know what happens if the other doesn't. Okay, so let me see. What is the cookie or the sweet reward for you if you achieve this objective? Aside from gaining access to these secrets, these mysteries that allow you to move through hostile territory undetected. See, it's hidden here. I mean, unfortunately, it will have you continuing to like nurse the old storyline here. It's going to be a repeat of this particular cycle of meaningless garbage. Oh God, no! No! Oh, why? That is quite not. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like two fortunes are knotted together. Oh my God. Why? Okay, what is the cookie? What is the sweet reward? Ah, okay. Well, the cookie, the sweet reward is, if you're able to achieve this, if both of you achieve this, let the good times roll. You become master of the hunt. You achieve your objective. You cheat death. And then it's much more of a pleasurable experience moving forward here, right? You get that cosmic carrot, you know? You activate the potential and you achieve the objective. You get the stone of destiny. So there's no way around it. That's really frustrating though, because all you can do is hold up your end of the bargain. You're like, oh man, come on. What kind of cruel joke is this? I'm starving here. Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, but that seems that that's the way it is. I mean, I guess it's a pretty fierce path, getting forged in the fire of the master maker. You know, it's tricky. It's tricky. Hmm. But, if, let's just entertain this for a moment. If it was like I was saying, and if you discover facing off with this energy that it's actually cloaking your spirit ally, that may be all you need, because then it can come in the form materially through an ally. You get what I'm saying? I feel like there's a little bit of like riddle me this energy here. We know that what introduced the knot is the Joker of water. Okay, so there is like something a little bit slippery here, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, all I know is there's only something that can be discovered through going backwards. You have to do something in reverse in order for it to go forward. And the nemesis you need to face off with is within. It's not without, but it's critical. So there can be this meeting point. So finally, two spirits, two souls can unite in material reality. So this could be somebody that you already know. This could be somebody you've never met before. But you're both connected to some entity here that's been warding over this connection. It looks like it's closer than it's ever been to actually coming together. But this still remains to be done. I mean, I like seeing this here with the master of the hunt. That's a pretty sweet reward. Right? I like that energy. But, yeah, okay. We don't want to nurse another old cycle, man. We don't want to watch the same old storyline roll out. That's rolled out lifetime after lifetime. Because I think it's a pretty rough ride, okay? So what is the target of this campaign? What is the target of this campaign as we step into this energy? Interesting. You got to face off with the bottom feeders. You got to find the smoking gun. You got to dive deep for it. It fell away here. That's how you break the chain. That's how you set yourself free and you get rocking in the free world, man. Interesting. It's on the bottom of the deck here. You got to wrap up the meaningless garbage, though, to get to the good stuff and become master of the hunt. That's all I know. Let me do a cut of the deck here. See what we got. You're like, oh my God, is this seriously the point we're at in the story? I'm so effing effed. It's going to eat me alive. Look, you know, you got to enter into the belly of this piece. That's what it looks like. Not this shit again. Yeah, but you know what? Look at all that's on offer. Like, a lot of strength, a lot of protection, the ability to cut off what no longer serves. You got to have a little bit of fun with it. It's going to activate your higher consciousness. You're going to earn your wings here. It helps you move into a little bit more of that kind of Dionysian, Bacchian kind of theater and play. It's all just theater. You'll find your flow, man. It will help you move against the current. You'll be able to navigate tricky territory. And you find quite an alliance there, you know? A dancing partner to help you ease on down that road. And it does look like you get the treasure of the Tuatha in there. And ultimately, it does lift some pox, something that's been a bit of a hex that's been over you, it looks like, for lifetimes, because this has not been achieved before. All right, so I mean, it's just the rub, man. It's the way it goes. There's no way around it. Interesting. Okay. I kind of want to see what element we need to work with. What elemental magic do we need to work with here? Well, I mean, there is a gift that can get rooted here, but it's all about the foundation of matters, you see. It's all about the foundation. So this is something that, you know, we have to look at the foundation of the matter. Eluding that and looking outside of yourself will not resolve this here. It's time to root this, okay? So it is ready to materialize. It's just tricky getting there. What elemental do we need to work with here? Oh my God. All right. Never a dull moment, man. Never a dull moment. What element do we need to work with here in order to achieve the great work? Because, man, this is quite a task we have before us. Let me just get one round of this so I can understand how we need to address this here. Okay, well, we got the firewood. You got to just do the work, you know, chop wood, carry water. You can have the spear of Lu. You can take the action, but if you don't have what you need to get that fire going, you can't get that cauldron of Dagda simmering nicely. You know, you're not going to have what you need to feed your party here. I mean, I see this is really important. There's no avoiding this, man. So what element do we need to work with here? Give us a clue about this. What do we need to do to alchemize this situation and achieve the objective? Because I don't want to go on another karmic spin cycle here. Whew. Okay, well, we got a challenge. We got a challenge, and it's going to take creativity. Got King of Sky coming in here. So, yes. You do have to work with discernment. You do have to have clarity. And you can have Fragarok, right? But you have to know the correct place to point the tip of that sword to get the answers you need. Only then will you obtain the power you need to open up the road to the journey ahead, to have the movement, the momentum you need. But if you achieve this objective, if you meet the challenge, all the creativity is accessible to you, and you do become a master of your craft. And it lights your heart fire. And I like this because it doesn't just light your heart fire. There's other characters here too that find their fire as well. It's like the fire feeds your party. Interesting. Okay, cut of the deck. It all depends on making this juncture here. You have to retrieve what you need from the south so you can align with that north node. It's the chariot forward here. The compass, though, you hold it in your hands. You hold it in your hands. It's within you. You're awakening the master within you through facing this challenge. Something you've been afraid to do, and the only way out is through. You got to go through the fire, daughter. This is something that can only be retrieved through going through this fire of transformation. There's no other way around it. All right, I haven't done this in a while, but I feel like I really want to do it. And I'm going to get us 3 gateways of initiation. I'm going to use the Kipper deck for this. I know that's not typical, especially for this kind of read, but I feel called to it. So I'm going to bring it in. Just move this back here for a minute. So I'm going to create 3 piles here, 3 gateways of initiation. And you pick whatever pile you're drawn to. And that will let you know what is that fire that you need to move through, like what challenge you may face in your material reality. Like sometimes, you know, you can be moving through a spiritual matter, but naturally it's all just an extension of the energy. You may encounter somebody in, you know, your day-to-day life that holds a little key here or a piece of information you need in order to achieve this task or something that you need to be aware of. So we always have to be mindful that the energy is operating on all stratums of being at all times. It can be a spiritual matter, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect your mentality. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect you emotionally. It doesn't mean that it doesn't affect what's happening with you physically or what's occurring in your material reality. So I want to get sort of like, because this is looking at it from a very more esoteric sort of angle here, and I want to root it in something very kind of straightforward and practical to bring in a little grounding, anchoring energy here. I think that's really important when you're working with this kind of dynamic. Let me just see here. Give us 3 gateways of initiation. Well, something just fell away here. That's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and give that as one of the gateways of initiation. Okay, I just had like a little stack of cards. So that's going to be the 3rd gateway of initiation. I'm going to call that good with that. And then we're going to go ahead and do 1 cut here for the 2nd gateway of initiation, and this is the 1st. So the 3rd gateway is what fell away down onto the floor. And then the middle is gateway number 2, initiatory gateway number 2, and the 1st is initiatory gateway number 1. All right, so take a moment to just feel out which one feels right to you. And I'm going to start with initiatory gateway number 1. Okay, foundation of the matter. Okay, you should expect that there's going to be a turning of the wheel of fortune. There's something that you're probably already like picking up on intuitively here, something you're expecting. You can feel it coming. You can feel the momentum of something approaching you here. It probably has ties, connection to your past. There could be a Cancer connected to this. There could be a Capricorn connected to this. There could be a Scorpio connected to this. A Leo connected. A Sagittarius. Okay. Something that is going to bring a tower. It's going to have you in your thoughts. This person's going to approach you, and it might be with the desire to create something with you, to merge your forces together, to move forward in a way you haven't moved forward together before. Again, they might want to work on something with you creatively. And you're going to take some time to consider this. This could be an artistic project, some kind of creative project, or this person could be a creative type. They could be an artist. And there's something you need to strongly consider here. The choice you make in whether or not to align forces with this person is significant, because it could bring a tower. But is it a tower of power or is it a destructive tower? There's something you're going to have to resolve here. And let's see what we got on the cut of the deck there. This is something that is aligned with spiritual court. Something's being determined here. And it does involve a mature woman. We got Venusian energy here. So this could be connected to a Libra. It could be connected to a Taurus. We also got Virgo here. Strong Taurus energy. Again, we also have the energy of Cancer and real strong Empress energy, Taurus, Libra. Okay, so this is something that maybe has been hanging in the balance for a while. It needs to be brought into karmic alignment. There's a choice you need to make here. A choice that seems that needs to be made in relation to a particular woman and whether or not to partner with them on something. How it turns out, you know, I can't tell you. It's all about how you play your hands here, but we know what's at stake, okay? But this is how it can present. This is how you'll know that you're entering into the gauntlet, so to speak, of the challenge you face, all right? For initiatory gateway number 2, it involves the Lovers. So again, interesting partnering energy coming through. There could be something a little tricky about this. This could be somebody that's been a bit of a devil, you know, a devilish character, somebody you've been very challenged by in the past. And yet there's also a lot of passion there, a lot of deep connection coming through with the energy of Capricorn, Gemini, Taurus. Also coming through with Virgo energy, Venusian energy again, Libra, Taurus. Absolutely involves a romantic relationship, okay? Emperor energy coming through, Aries energy here. So there's a connection that hangs in the balance here. And there's something very key here that needs to be addressed, looked at, understood. This is what's going to be at the forefront of your consciousness. Doing a cut of the deck. Let's see what we got. On one side, we have poverty, Wheel of Fortune. Looks like a downturn in fortune. There's been some kind of financial loss here, possibly related to some kind of legalities. This could have something to do with the ending of a relationship or the ending of a marriage or some kind of dispute here. But what goes up must come down. I'm not sure what side of this you're on, but you are probably already familiar with this kind of situation, or you can feel this brewing, or it's something you're just about to enter into here. It's interesting because it may feel at first like you're experiencing some kind of loss. Something's falling away, right? But it's a turning of the Wheel of Fortune, because we see what comes in here is the Empress energy with the energy of the Fool. It does open up your road. It does move you into a time of future growth and abundance. And that's connected with the energies of Aries, Aquarius, Libra, and Taurus here. Real strong Libra. There's also Cancerian energy here. Real strong Libra energy though, okay? Also got Sagittarian energy there as well. Okay. Interesting. Okay. If you chose the wild path, if you're a bit of a maverick, if you like to go rogue and you're like, I want the cards that fell to the floor, because I already know that I got to go down there to figure out what's going on. I gotta look at the foundation of things. Let's see how it's playing out for you. Jackpot, sudden wealth. Look at that. 777 synchronicity for you. Some kind of justice coming through. Alignment. Got Libra energy coming in there. Strong chariot energy as well with the 777. With that, we're looking at Cancerian energy. Also, High Priestess energy, Cancerian energy. All the water signs, really. But the High Priestess is traditionally Cancer. Even though I know people always say Pisces, but it is traditionally Cancer's card, okay? You could connect all the water signs to that, though, because when we think of intuition, we do evoke the quality of Lagos, the water. The water speaks intuitively, all right? I mean, this is really good energy right here, just as your baseline that you're entering into. So I would say you're probably closer than you think to hitting the mark, to having that jackpot moment, okay? Something looks like it's balancing out. What do we got on the other side here? Psh, wealthy man. 13. Something is coming to a close and it's turning the wheel of fortune here in a good way, coming in with the energy of Scorpio. And also break that down. You got the energy of the Emperor, Aries. You can look at the 1 and the 3 separately too. So we do have the energy of the Magician there, Gemini. And the 3, again, Empress, Libra, Taurus energy. And this is interesting. Let's see what's on the split. Well, it's pretty easy to do the split because there was only, 4 cards here. Wow. Whoa. Okay. So this is interesting. This is really interesting. Those of you that chose Initiatory Gateway number 3, I mean, you're almost home free. You've almost mastered the sun. Again, we got 11 energy coming through here. Libra energy, justice, your toil, your labor, doing the work of the Holy Grail, the grit, grime, and the oil. You're about to be freed. Once you overcome, I feel like it's overcoming this force, something you got to face off with here. It actually aligns you with the official person, 22. You see, the 2 come together. They come together in power. They join their forces together. It's powerful. Emperor energy. So coming through with the Aries energy, we also got all the water sign energy coming through here. We also have Libra here. Also the Empress energy is indicative there. So Libra, Taurus, strong Libra because we got the 11 total there, justice. Also, with the 8 there, Leo coming through as strength. Sometimes Libra is 8 for justice. Sometimes it's Leo for strength, right? And same thing with the 11. So that came through before. It's interesting. There's this interesting kind of dichotomy with Libra, Leo right now. I'm not sure what that's about, but it keeps kind of coming through. So we got both those energies there. Also Scorpio coming through strongly too. You could also look at the 11th house, Aquarian energy can be coming through there too. These could be characters of significance if, those aren't any of your signs. Or those houses could be really activated. So, all right. I mean, those of you who chose Initiatory Gateway number 3, you're almost home free. But, don't take the easy way out here, see, because there's still some toil and labor that needs to be completed in order to strike this balance. You still can lose the plot. And sometimes that's the trickiest thing of all, when you feel like, all right, I got this down pat. That's when you'll really slip up and muck everything up. So just be aware of how you move, all right? And there's some tricky, I feel like with this second Initiatory Gateway, it really has something to do with making the right choice in a connection. It gives me vibes of one lover's connection can really get you caught up, and the other one, it liberates you. It sets you free. But a choice needs to be made here. All right? You may need to free yourself from one connection, overcome a certain oppositional force in order to come in alignment with the correct person. You could be dealing with, through a lever, the physical manifestation of that entity, you know, that you need to face off with here. And this other one here, you know, it really does look like, again, there's something about partnering with somebody on a creative project and some kind of judgment call that needs to be made around this, a determination that needs to be made, something that needs to be understood there. Really interesting energy. All right, that's what I got. A lot of interesting stuff teaming here, a lot of interesting energies brewing. And man, I hope we all make it through. But you know what? I think we got the odds stacked in our favor here. I think we got a lot that we can work with to find our way through. We each have different challenges. We're each at different stages. But see, the one thing you need to remember is it's like, this is the key, right? It's like, you may have picked this pile. That's great. I mean, it looks great for you, but you have to remember there's still another person here on the other side of this equation that has to get it right for this fortune to be forged. You know, what if the other person you're dealing with, you know, they chose this one here and they have to, you know, best a devil in the form of somebody they're aligned with in the love department, or, you know, what if somebody, you know, creates with, you know, a questionable alliance and then they get deterred from meeting up with you. So, you know, you can't feel like you got it in the bag no matter what you chose here, because this is a case where two fortunes are really about, you know, those forces joining and coming together to see this thing through. So all I have to say, it's pretty tall order, but I think we can do it, man. I really do. We have to face our fears. We have to be willing to do the work. But I think we can do it. I really do. I think we can do it. And we can see something beautiful come into bloom with that pink flower moon in Libra, all right? All I have to say is, Godspeed. Hope to see you there.